Okay, guys, welcome. We're going to talk today about the psychology of the zombie. Psychology of the zombie partner. Sometimes it's good. You really don't want to be focused on other people. Understand, this is a sliding scale. Being a zombie is a sliding scale. And this right hemisphere that's deemed it necessary for you to die has, levels of urgency, and it's guarding you being able to see this inside of yourself. And so occasionally it's helpful to inspect somebody else. I'm always telling people, get the mask on you first. This right hemisphere is going to tell you to focus. Look, there's the problem. The problem's over there. I can see the problem. These other people are the problem. You're never going to get to saying, hey, what am I doing? Diagnose me. I have to be healthy if I'm going to help anybody else. And so just standing there forever pointing, toxic, that's the toxic person, toxic. There's people that waste their lives. They're murdering themselves, but their right hemisphere is using the tool of focusing on other people. Decades go by, and they're drinking themselves to death. They're eating chemicals and high fructose corn syrup. And it sounds like I ate high fructose corn syrup, right? Didn't even eat coffee. My brain's going a little bit faster than my mouth this morning. Or more than likely, my mouth's just going slower. This right hemisphere can use the tool of us focusing on somebody else while we're murdering ourselves. And so I try to discourage people, but if we're starting out, it's very easy to tell this tool, hey, let's focus on somebody else. And then change that focus to observe our own self. First, let's see it, and then let's see ourselves in this other person. However, when you're having relationships, I want you to understand how strong a tool, powerful a tool this is. You're in a relationship, and you've got a person who, has some basic ideas. What's your favorite color? It's purple. What's your favorite number? It's 22. 23. My favorite, absolute favorite number. What's your favorite ice cream? I like that chocolate. I like that pecan something. I don't know what ice cream flavors are. I like that mint. I like that vanilla. But when you sit down and have a conversation, I don't want to say geopolitical. I hate that word because, when somebody says, hey, let's talk geopolitics or something like that, I'm going, do I even, can I hold my weight in that ring? And can anybody? Knowing something about every situation versus knowing the current political situation in all of the 178 countries or whatever, that's there's probably like 5 people on earth qualified to have that conversation. So I hate when somebody lobs that into the conversation, where you just kind of shrink and go, oh, I don't know. I know where that place is. However, if you're sitting down and you're talking to your gal about, what's your favorite taco, and then you say, hey, what about this situation? What if we opened a restaurant? What would be the theme? What would be the food? How many tops? In the industry, we don't say tables, we say tops. We got a 15 top here, and what it all comes down to is how many times per hour we can turn those tops. What's it going to take for us to turn a profit? Maybe we don't get down into the breakdown how much a hamburger has to cost, how much how much insurance costs. But if you start to lay out a design of a super tiny, beach taco shack business, and this person is still saying, hey man, I like tacos. My favorite color is purple. I like that motherfucking mint ice cream. And you feel like you're not going in equally here. You feel like this person is not capable of, a little bit more meaty brain exercise. But now you get into a little scrappy scrap, and she goes to the other location, and now she's sending you pages. You've got dates, you've got times, you've got names, and this shit is organized. I remember this happened, and this happened, and this happened. Chronology, we've got exact everything's. Then this person gets tired of this, and we've got page after page after page, and they're keeping track. They're not losing track and now just attacking and saying, hey, your dick is small. This is articulate. It's articulate and articulated. It's in order. They're not forgetting their little bookmark. They're waking up and going back into an exact, detailed account and attack. This is why you said this, and this is why when you said that, you meant this. I know because of the other thing that you said to the other person and how this related to this, that related to that. You were snarky when you said this to this person, and that's why this means it's complex. You're saying, God damn, I kind of thought this person was a moron. But suddenly, we've got fucking Stephen Hawking over here that remembers every fucking thing and can connect these complicated social situations. Now, this person kind of runs out of steam, says, hey, I kind of thought that was going to turn into more. I thought you were going to respond more. I thought we were going to escalate. Remember, the tool of the zombie. The goal is death. You in the soil. The tool bag is escalation. So what they have to do is get into the house, make you care about them, make you pair bond. You're chemically addicted. You're chemically dependent on this person. This isn't another person. This person has become 50% of you. Now they run to the other location. Wow, 3 days. Wow, just dumping. Then I did this, then you did this, then this is what this meant, then this person said this, which this person then told this person. You're going, God damn. I wish I had this kind of recall for geopolitics. I'd be a fucking, everybody think I was a goddamn genius. This is impressive. And now they realize this isn't going anywhere. We're not going to escalate. This person is just letting go. So they say, hey, I have sex, it's available. I could have the sex with somebody else. Try to make you a little bit jealous. But, whatever. I could just come back over there. The effort to come back, in order for this knife to get in between the ribs and find that lung material, poke that hole, the effort to get out of the house, the effort to form this gigantic problem that came out of nothing, has to be huge compared to the effort it takes them to get back inside of the house. Is how this works. Who's a good boy? Yeah, you're doing a good job, big guy. I can see it in your eyes. You got the zoomies. You're about to tear some shit up. That cat was taking a goddamn nap when I came in. And I was like, whoo! I lucked out. This guy's pooped out. But that was not the case. I woke him up, and now we're gonna have some zooming noise over here. Very cool. He's just hitting adolescence, and so it's going from baby stuff to hey, I'm starting to get those chemicals. I'm starting to grow muscles and get interested in stuff. So very cool, very cool. We haven't named him yet, but a very integral part of our little farm situation, our little homestead here. You don't got cats, you got rats, and cats will eat one of your things, but rats just eat holes in all of your things. You don't want that. Who's a good boy? Wow. Who's a good boy? You're doing a good job, Miso. You're doing a good job. Wow. The effort for them to get back into your house is going to be small, and you're going to be tempted to say, hey dude, you know, you got 45,000 words here attacking and claiming to be attacked. You're claiming this is retaliation for my attack. There was none, but we got 45,000 words to get the fuck out of this house. Why don't you give me 45,000 words to get back into this house? And we're going to see every tool on the face of the planet. I'll just go screw somebody else then. I'll take your pair bond, I'll take the other half of you and share that with somebody else. Any tool possible to get out of equaling the amount of energy it took for them to destroy a relationship that had zero problems for them to repair. You're going, hey dude, you just took a shit on it. You're saying, hey, sorry about that, my bad. Let me come back over there. You're saying, hey, how about, and you're seeing nada, nothing whatsoever. I'm cute, so let me back. This is an observation of the zombie psychology. This is how this thing works. That you were thinking, hey, when we dream up our dream business, nothing comes out. So perhaps this person's just a dummy. There isn't a lot going on. They're cute. They have the chemicals. They've got the body parts. You know, how much stuff do I need? But then when they go into attack mode, you're seeing this vast intelligence. Somebody being intelligent is just memorizing more characters of pi than you. To impress a nerd, you only have to memorize pi for one character further than they have memorized pi. It's really not a good measurement. An IQ test is not a good measurement at all. To appear smart, you only have to memorize things that apparent smart people have also memorized, to have interest in things that mimic intelligence. But if somebody says, you know, their conversation really implies they don't have a lot going on, but then when they go into attack mode, you know, they've got all of these different organization and chronology, and it's so impressive, but in the worst kind of way, right? And so you're wanting them to match that energy to come back. It's not going to. And you're guaranteed that a week from now, you're going to be in the exact same situation. And you're thinking, hey, this is just American relationships. This is just human relationships. Not the case. We can bring a person back All we have to do is change the map in the habitation, and this person becomes a human, and all of a sudden, that random access memory, massive, impressive random access memory, is now allotted to doing productive things, literally building health equity, building equity in your business, building human health equity, building everything that's positive. Wow! Wow. He missed it, Bill. He shit whipped himself right onto the concrete, poor guy, and is going for another. But it's okay. Do you need help? Do you need help, big guy? Oh, okay, you got it. You got it. You got it. You're okay. You're doing a great job, big guy. We have hanging. Springy things over here. You'll see that a lot. That intelligence, that impressive intelligence, move into other areas. Now, when you say, "Hey, why don't we start a business? How many seats do you think we need? What's the insurance going to be in this area?" You're going to start seeing impressive questions. You're going to start seeing impressive involvement in other productive areas. It's not just going to be in this, I can attack you with, 1,000 megabytes. But, my expression for how much I care about you, or how much I care about our future is just, whatever. Purple, tacos, this apparent moron in one area and savant in fighting suddenly is going to, when we change that balance, when we put that same person in close contact to human energies, we're suddenly going to see that intelligence move into somewhere else. Isn't that fucking cool, guys? You're thinking, hey, I go from one relationship to the next relationship, and I'm observing the exact same thing, and so 341 million Americans have just gone, this is what a relationship is. I'm going to shop around, I'm going to date 30 or 40 people, and then I'm just going to say, hey, I already dated 39 of this exact same person. No ass, no lips, no opinion, no ability to really in-depth plan a future, a beautiful relationship together. Until it's attack time and suddenly this person becomes Einstein of the fight only. We're going to see that intelligence branch into beautiful areas, amazing people. All we have to do is prove to that human body, to your girlfriend, that we have the human energies sufficient to make a family. That body has chosen, we don't have the right to life, we don't have the right to procreate. That body has chosen, that right hemisphere has said, hey, we don't have the right to life here. We're not planning futures. The only thing we're going to invest in is destroying this person. When we're having beautiful, amazing sex with this person, we're only creating these amazing memories and chemical connections so that when we rip this away and say, hey, I'm going to share that with somebody else, it rips deeper, it cuts deeper. That's the only reason for the intimacy. It's not being used to build something, it's only being used to rip something that you have become addicted to. You've let yourself become half of another person chemically, and now when they go away and say, I'm going to share this with somebody else, it's tearing you in two. That was the goal. Wow. Who has the zoomies? Who has the zoomies? That was the goal. And now the same person, we don't need to swap it out. The exact same person, if we prove to that right hemisphere, hey, there's sufficient human energies here, including those microorganisms that are leaving us, coming back in double the numbers they left us, you're now going to see that person's intelligence leave attack mode and grow into. Hey man, how do we not? In Denver, Colorado, I had a amazing girlfriend, and she just knew her way around everything. And so I would find out half a year later that the government was paying for our bills, or that I had amazing health care, or we'd applied for and gotten some grant or some program, us personally, our charitable organization, our 501c3, I find out after the fact, these were things where I'm like, man, one of these days we got to address this. This is our biggest expense. Other charities or scientific organizations that have licenses and grants and things are having these paid for. Why are we that guy? Why are we that guy? And I would find out after the fact that she hadn't even discussed it with me and solved these things. And she was somebody that most people regarded as kind of dumb. I don't want to encourage that because, I don't want to damage this person's self-esteem or anything like that. However, it's so cute that for years we lived in the second story. I mean, we lived in the whole thing, but we slept in the second story of a historic home, 1889 Queen Victoria. And so it was relatively short, but there was plenty of room to stand up. However, it started out being an A-frame attic, and so it went down, and then, it went flat, and then it went at an angle. I did that all wrong. And so a pony wall had been built because, narrowing down to nothing is not usable space. So about maybe 4 feet, they started a pony wall. Then we've got the angle of the roof. Then they just flattened it out so we had an area we could move the hot air through and suck it out again so it wasn't so hot in that second floor apartment. So in the middle, any of us could stand up, but if we went to the edge, we had to mind it. This young lady bonked her head every morning for years. And I'd hear it, and I'd ask her, honey, did you just bonk your head again? And she'd just turn the brightest red and look at the floor and go, yeah. Just seemed like this simple-minded, happy person, always happy. And you're like, I'd rather you be, a little bit dumb and this happy, just happy all of the time, was such a beautiful quality. However, then when she would solve these problems that I hadn't even, conceived, it just blow your mind. You're like, is this girl smarter than me? Is she bogging her head on purpose so that I'll feel like I'm the smart one in this relationship or something? Just amazing when you offer this correct math and you see the exact same person, that in the past is only using this extreme random access memory to destroy things. They're getting involved in other people's relationships and saying, look, this is what he did on this date, and this is what he did on this date, and this is what he did on this date, which means this other conclusion that most of the time it's going to be a load of shit, but still impressive at how they're convincing somebody to implode their relationship. The sheer organization of random access memory and chronology of this layout, this presentation, this bullet point, is just impressive, but it's only to destroy everything. And then when we take that same person and change the map, it's difficult for Americans that have been living in this fishbowl of brainwashing to imagine things being on this sliding scale. Somebody is born a gay person, they're a gay person their entire life. If they ever did anything heterosexual, surely that was faking it because they're a gay person from this time. That's not how that works. When people go to university, they've never had a homosexual thought in their life. We're saying to make ourselves more comfortable, hey, that person was always gay, but they're hiding it. Then they went to university. They were only interested in literal, genital on genital, homosexual, mouth on genital, homosexual sex, hardcore homosexual sex, and then after they left university, they just went back to hiding. And they had a heterosexual marriage for the next 50 years. And of course, that's not what's happening. We're changing the mathematic, and we're changing this person from heterosexual to homosexual based on the mathematics in the university. We're at the house with mom and dad. Maybe we're not growing a huge amount, but of human food. If we don't have animals to eat being grown here, maybe we don't have fruit trees and a massive vegetable garden, but we probably have a whole bunch of grass, whole bunch of oxygen, whole bunch of soil. And so it's not that this person isn't a zombie, we're just not intensifying it by increasing the number of the species. Remember, this is a comparison to how many species there is versus the food, versus the living in the tree food, versus the living on the hoof food. Dogs and cats don't count, of course. These are animals being raised to be eaten, whether you eat them or not. You could just raise them on site for the purpose of eating, but eating meat that doesn't have antibiotics in it from off site. If you have correct math, you're still going to see heterosexuality. Not that that's our goal, there's nothing wrong with anybody. However, if you have the right to procreate, have the right to life on site, you're going to see people that want to make more human beings. If we then put 50,000 students on a lawn that has no I could get that money off. Get some cement in her glass. We're suddenly going to see a bunch of people that are thinking homosexual thoughts that they're not considering homosexual thoughts necessarily. We're going to see young ladies getting to this mathematical equation and starting to read Sylvia Plath, and suddenly they're saying, hey, all heterosexual sex is rape. This right hemisphere is saying, hey, this weird idea is so important. And as long as they're in that mathematical situation, they're going to keep thinking, hey, this is so important. This is who I always was. This thing is so convincing, guys. This right hemisphere that we don't have any control over is so convincing. So for 4 years, this beautiful young lady is going to say, hey, I only have sex with females. All heterosexual sex is rape. And then when she leaves and we change the mathematics again, she's going to say, boy, I don't know what I was really thinking back there, but heterosexual sex suddenly sounds pretty fucking amazing. This is a sliding scale. Any person put in this other mathematical situation is going to see the same thing. The guys are going to be, society is going to not allow them to be as fluid. And so they're going to be marching down the street saying, hey, yes means no, no means yes, and yes means anal. I'm going to rape you. If you go on a date with me, I'm going to rape you whether you consent or not. I'm going to find a way to rape you. Now they're going to be jerking off in close quarters to all dudes, slapping each other's dicks, slapping each other's nuts, jerking off and then eating finger foods together and slapping high fives and hugging on every single play of the game, but claiming to be heterosexual, but, just deny. I don't like lots of dates, but I don't know what's going on. For some reason she wants a chaperone. She doesn't want any sex from you because you were marching down the fucking road saying, I will rape you whether you want consensual sex or not. I'm going to find a way to turn this into rape. No matter what. But for 4 years, this person that's now militantly gay is going to say, hey man, I'm just violently heterosexual. I'm finally allowed to explain how heterosexual I am. I'm so heterosexual that I'm going to have sex with you whether you want it or not, and if you agree to it, I'm going to have sex with your asshole whether you want to or not. Now, I'm just extremely heterosexual right now, and I don't know why the girls aren't receiving this. That is just a homosexual expression, but they're not going to feel that. And they're going to go back to mom and dad's house after the education, calm down a little bit. Ooh, the body's going to remeasure, and we're going to see them, putting a lot less pressure on dating. And things are going to settle down quite a bit. If we don't have good math, they're still going to have problems with their relationships, though, people. They're just going to be saying, hey, I don't know what's going on. I calm down, I'm not being a weirdo, I'm not marching in the street saying I'm going to rape anybody, but why aren't these girls receiving my stuff? All the relationship problems we think we're having in America is just this math. That's it. That same person that's putting all this effort into attacking you, if we correct the mathematics, if we supply enough food inside the trees on animals' bodies, we now have the right to life. And this person is free. They're unshackled, and they're free to express the original human expression. The original human expression isn't fight to the death with every single person that tries to love you. He can't love himself, but he's trying to love me. It's not complicated like that, people. You're thinking this complication is normal, and that's a load of shit. This government is taking advantage of you. This church has been taking advantage of you for 4,000 fucking years. You're trying to leave the church and you're going to another organization that's just teaching the exact same shit. Boom. Claps your hands together, stare off into some other thing, go to some building that has zero species-specific energy in it. That will cause you a death. Give your money away to a different organization. You didn't leave the cult. You didn't leave the cult. The cult's just bigger than you think. All of the options that you think you're leaving and going to are just more of the cult. When you get involved in these pyramid schemes that don't seem like pyramid schemes, the vacation pyramid scheme, and the guys come out, and one's wearing the big clown wig, and the other one's a great big muscular guy, and they're all jumping around, and they've got Rocky music playing, or I don't know what a younger version of Rocky music, really inspirational music playing, and everybody's jumping around saying, hey, I make millions of dollars, and now you're going to make millions of dollars. You're in a building with zero species-specific energies. Everybody in that building is dead, and they're saying, hey, now give me money. We're going to buy the supplements, and you get the supplements, and then you get the guy to buy the supplements, and if you get 10 guys to buy the supplements, now you're going to make $1 million like I made $1 million. Yeah, it's all the same shit. It's still the exact same cult. You left Christianity, you left Catholicism, you left Judaism, you left just in this new cult. It's the same fucking model over and over and over. And you're going, oh man, this must be the human existence, the human reality, the human norm. And that's not the case, beautiful people. For millions of years, we just grew up with plants and animals and had a means of microorganisms, slow down a little bit, that were leading us to come back to us. And so relationships were beautiful and easy. When you watch a relationship on one of these country movies, The River Runs Through, what was the Brad Pitt one? The cinematography, the storyline was a little bit juvenile, but the cinematography, wowzers, just amazing. But in that, relationships are horrible and humans are horrible. But when you watch sweet movies, what was the one with in the 70s with that family that lived out in the country? And you see these beautiful, simple relationships where a guy goes, hey man, I kind of want to just live on a thing, have some cows, and just have this beautiful relationship with no other people involved, and no cheating involved. That's not a dream. That's the human existence for millions of years. Every time we try the city format, it just doesn't work, and everybody dies. And then we go, where'd that culture go? They were the fanciest ones. Where'd they go? We can't figure it out. That's where they went, y'all. There's mounds all over the earth, but they're man-made mounds. And now archaeologists are getting lazy, and they're just using satellites and going, hey, that's not a man-made mound. When nature makes a mound, there's fingers. So if we see something that looks, like a hard shape, not a perfect square, a perfect circle, but it doesn't have the fingers, then we go, nature didn't make that, there's no fingers. Wind makes fingers. If wind makes a pile, it makes fingers. This pile doesn't have fingers. Doesn't look like the aliens made it, it's this sloppy pile, but it doesn't have fingers. Then archaeologists are going straight there, digging it up, and they're forgetting to ask the one question. They're going, hey, this is a spotless city. There's nothing wrong with this city. Why did they abandon this city? But they're not asking, why was that recognizable as a man-made mound from the satellite? Because these people had bad mathematics, they started to cheat on each other, then they started to kill each other, then they murdered each other to extinction, and the surrounding people, who were still fine, said, oh shit, there was a pathogen inside of that city, and they buried it by hand. They carried fucking sacks of dirt to bury a city. They're never asking. Zombies can't ask the question. The right hemisphere is doing a job, and it can snow you on anything. It can say, you kind of missed that one kind of important why question. Guys, let me see how we're doing on time. Oh man, we killed it, guys. We just fucking killed it. There's nothing wrong with your partner. There's nothing wrong with the opposite sex. You're causing these things. Your right hemisphere is causing these things. Don't get stuck on pointing the finger. Point the finger and then go, where can I see that in me? We've got to get the mask on ourselves first. We can't just get stuck in pointing the finger. We got to have our math right. And guys, I don't want to sound sexist, but you're responsible to offer this. If you're offering a young lady dick, and you're not offering her the right to life and the right to procreate, you're literally offering her dick. You're not offering her penis, you're offering her dick. Zero, zilch, nothing. Less than nothing. She's going to attack you, and it's your fault. Your dowry going into a relationship is offer that young lady, doesn't cost you any money. Don't buy a fucking house, buy a tiny piece of property outside of the city. Get something large enough for a mattress, heat and cool that space, Make your focus outside of the house. Make this little tiny homestead. But guys, you could have a Walmart there. Just outside of the city, things go from there. I chewed on my tongue at the same time as I said shitty. You get right outside of the city, all of a sudden acres start being $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 for an acre of beautiful soil to offer your beautiful gal. That house will be bigger one day. But at first, all you need is a shed-size place. You need a place to eat and sleep. The rest of your time needs to be spent out here. You don't need to work 24 hours a day. Plants grow themselves. Animals grow themselves. However, your body should be in proximity to these things. If you're locking yourself in some 3,000 square foot house, your body is measuring what's in that fucking house. If it's not species-specific energies, you're killing that poor gal. Let her go, or do this. I suggest you do this first. Don't start dating and telling people, hey, here's what we should do. Some weirdo with a man bun says we should grow some shit. Grow this. Get it going. Then bring people there and bring dates there and say, hey, I want you to feel your body. If you sit here and acknowledge these human energies, your body is going to make different evolutionary decisions in real time. Sit, acknowledge these beautiful things. You're going to see your beautiful wife grow a different body on site, guys. Guys, I got so much work, it's ridiculous. However, you guys are super important. I'm going to do this again real soon.